Had a crazy game that we just witnessed. I kind of want to let her just jump into it. Jimmy Butler did it again. The Celtics are down 0-2, and it's looking kind of rough. So just immediate reaction, kind of a crazy fourth quarter, crazy interaction, or a really fun interaction with Grant Williams. Midway through that fourth quarter, kind of as a run was happening. So I'll let you guys get into it. Whoever wants to go first. Any thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I'll start there with the Grant Williams stuff. Just don't poke the bear, man. Just got the one-on-one every single time. Credit to Missoula for taking him off real quick. You could have let that ride out. That would have got even uglier. But excuse me. But no, yeah, it's crazy, crazy fourth quarter. I feel like, and Celtics never. I mean, the Heat never fell out of that game, and yeah, this Celtics team. Oof, Tatum. What did he? No field goals in the fourth quarter for the second
Nope,
straight game.
all
I
free
think that was.
throws.
All
Five
free throws,
turnovers though.
yeah. No, they just struggled in Miami. They seem to struggle with the zone. I don't know if last game they were playing the zone down the stretch, but it seems like they kind of were in a zone or a little bit of a matchup zone,
Yeah, that
and
shit
Tatum
is
and Brown
hilarious.
just struggled with decision making. And yeah, you feel the pressure mounting throughout the game, and it was interesting because I think Miami was struggling to score, but I think immediately as the fourth quarter started, they or at least a couple minutes into it, they got into the bonus pretty quick, and it felt like they just were aggressive. They were aggressive, and they were making the right decisions in order to counteract. Like, yeah, that it wasn't the buckets just weren't easy to come by at that point in the game. And then they just cemented themselves pretty quickly to got the fifth foul pretty quickly. Got buckets at the free throw line to just keep the game close. And then yeah, got last 2 minutes, Jimmy time, and Jason Tatum is nowhere to be found. Jalen Brown, Jordan, any Jalen Brown
Zone
commentary,
one, Jalen Brown,
Jason
one for
Tatum,
seven. Ooh,
Jason
we'll get
Tatum
to
talk.
him. Yeah, the zone is funny because it's I don't
Yeah,
know, between Tatum and Brown, it's like they get shook, like just like watching like AAU basketball, just like seeing just like that defensive switch up. Like it was just like it had to be at least three or four possessions where they just like threw the ball away, just on a simple 2-3. It's just like I was like, oh damn, they're really struggling with this. But but yeah, my thing, I think Tatum like still had a decent game, 10 for 20, 3 for 10 from three. I feel like he's taking too long to get started, and I feel like obviously he's not closing the way that he should be closing, just not taking a shot. But even like at the beginning of the game, I noticed I was like, I feel like he's taking a little too long to get going, just to get
Mm-hmm.
into the flow of the offense. To me, like
Yeah.
I don't understand because they have a lot of people who can produce, but I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like yeah, y'all down 1-0, y'all at home, you the star
Yeah.
of the team. You gotta at some point you just gotta take command of the game early. I feel like
Yeah, search yourselves. Yeah, I was surprised to see Miami get out to the hot start they did. I did see. I didn't catch the very beginning, but to your point, it seems like they like posted up smart a couple of
yeah,
times, maybe
yeah.
just to start the
The
game.
first
Yeah,
two plays was he made one, but I was like, okay, really? Like that right
yeah,
there. And Tatum didn't even touch the ball. I want to say he probably didn't touch the ball. Like the Tatum or Brown might have not touched the ball the first two or three possessions, and just
yeah.
weird. I don't know. Just feel like it's not.
I
That's I
remember it
don't
was a
know.
lot
That's
of
a
Al
regular season
Horford.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like it felt like the ball. I felt like Al Horford got a lot of shots up in the first quarter. I mean, or it felt like he had the ball in
Yeah.
his hands at the end of possessions a lot, and they kind of had no direction. It kind of ended up there. But yeah, no, Tatum and Brown, man, I don't know. It's like I want to ride them off now, but 2-0, losing 2-0, going down 2-0, and then going to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
The way Jimmy's been closing games out, it's hard to see that this is not start to see that the writing's on the wall with the Celtics for this season. But and then the greater questions, yeah, about Tatum and Brown, where I'm going. Just I don't know if Tatum's the number one. I think they're both really good number
Oh.
twos, though. Like I mean number one on like a championship team. I like, is it worth it? I mean, for Celtics, of course it is. Like when you're there, you see it through, but realistically, like it could end, with
Mm-hmm.
him maybe getting back there one lead, them putting the roster around him to get through the Eastern Conference, getting back there one, get him another shot at it. But that's hard enough. Like that's like how many times? I guess the Dirk thing. It's like yeah, it's like are you going to be able to grind this out the next 5 years to try to even get one shot to get back there, and then you got to do it once you get there versus whoever's there, and it's just I'm looking more at just Tatum and Brown as players, and I don't know. Yeah, they're both really talented and be interested. I just never, I guess, as the time has gone on, I don't really like the two of them together, and I just find them both interesting to see. I find it interesting to see them, you know, yeah, just next to other high level talent, but also just different roster structure when the roster structure isn't based around those two players. I think just mm,
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Tatum needs to go find his Shaq.
yeah, that's a
yeah,
good way to
I
put it.
would say a playmaker. I feel like they both need to play
Not
with a
even a big
playmaker,
man,
like
just
pretty simply,
yeah,
right?
he
Yeah,
needs to be
Or it's
over. Yeah, go
or
ahead.
I'd say or a big man, big dominant big, but
Yeah, or who's dominant big right now again? Oh,
it's
Jokic,
just Joker,
AD, yeah,
AD,
AD would be
AD.
fun actually.
Joel. That would be. I don't think that would have worked. I
Tatum's got
don't
to
know.
let
Not good enough.
let
Joel's
old man get
interesting.
his shine first. He go. Tatum's going to the Lakers probably later on. Later on, you don't let LeBron
Yeah,
finish that out. I don't know,
Nah, it would
but
be
nah,
interesting.
I don't, yeah.
Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. You good. I already forgot.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna be interesting to see. I feel like somebody, or I think Jordan, you said like his numbers turned out to be pretty good, and it's
Yeah,
weird because like I think letting the Heat get off to a hot start, even if you do the work to come back, is just like the effort that goes into kind of the back and forth nature of the game. You never really pull away because you start off so bad, and it's just fourth quarters have been really bad. It's been back to back nights where the fourth quarters have just been back to back games where the fourth quarters have been really bad. Hasn't made a field goal yet. Five turnovers go along with those no field goals in the last two games. I feel like Stan might have made the point of like Miami is doubling or throwing in zones and different things at them where Boston refuses still to throw like a second body at Jimmy, which partially I get. They got shooters and he's gonna make the play. Um, but yeah, that was an interesting part of it. But yeah, no, just he has to be better in these moments. I think that's the tough part with Tatum because he's shown to be the guy, at least relatively. I think all of us like maybe don't 100% believe that he's going to be able to put it all together and never win the chip. Especially after it's been when he's had the moments, he just looked really rough. He looked really rough in the finals
yeah.
last year. Um, this looked really bad in similar ways this time around in the at the end of games. And yeah, I don't know. It's a moment he needs to step up. These guys are all relatively young, but it's interesting to see where his stock, if they lose this series, and if it looks the way it's going, where like the Heat are up have 3 games after the first 4 in one way or another. Be interesting to see where the conversation goes because I think Booker had a really good playoff run that kind of is beyond reproach, even with taking the L, especially if Miami ends up or if Denver ends up going to the West Finals. And I wonder how people are going to view those two because it's definitely been the other way for a while. But I wonder.
yeah. I just think my brain just got back to just the idea that they put this really good team together around I think Tatum and Brown, and I think
Hmm.
that finding Derek White and Brogdon, like, I don't think it really gets better than that, and I wonder if this team's kind of hitting the ceiling, and it does come down to at the end of the day how Jalen and Jason perform in the fourth quarter of late playoff games. Like how like series by series, are they going to be able to improve in this specific thing, or is this the place where all the roster change you can do to build this great regular season team, even get all the things you need for a playoff run? Just interesting. But yeah, I think them getting I say like like I think Tatum and Brown both need to play next to play next to a great playmaker or a better
Hmm.
or I don't know if even a better scorer than them. Yeah, but I definitely think they would both benefit from playing next to a great playmaker or a star player who was more of a playmaker.
Well,
Even though I think Boston has done a great job by getting Derek White and Malcolm. I don't think anybody would be better than Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon. That's two point guards I would want next to Tatum and Brown, and including Smart too. Like that three-way combo is like
yeah,
I think as good as you're gonna get,
yeah. Well, I was gonna
and that's
say,
just interesting to see what this team's ceiling is now, or how many years they go for this, or how many years they can keep it together financially. My bad.
no, I was just gonna say to your
Yeah.
point. I think what you're saying is the about the 3 guys. Is to your point, like the team is at its best when one of those, like you look at just over the last maybe 2.5, 3 seasons, like the team is at its best when Marcus Smart, when Marcus Smart first got the keys of like kind of the point guard after Kemba's gone, like that's probably the best they had looked like over a long regular season stretch, like in a long time. when Malcolm Brogdon comes in and he's really effective in the spot, that's when they look really good. This year with Derek White, like, oh, Derek White, when Derek White's really, really good, this team's unstoppable. That's what
Yeah.
this team was this year. So it's like, yeah, but none of those guys, and like, I don't even think it's a knock on any of those guys because they're not seen as those players. They can never really consistently be that player. Maybe Brogdon had a moment earlier on in his career where he was that guy. But yeah, you could argue like those guys probably need to be separate so they can play with a higher caliber version of those players. Not saying that those players are bad players, but somebody that can do it on a night to night basis as like the second guy. Or like Jordan's saying, just maybe a guy to, I don't know, yeah, just you need stars in this league, man. And it's just neither one of them. It's weird because I think
two
both of them
stars
is good
isn't
enough
always
to
the
be
best fit. Like, I mean, two
I
guys
don't know
don't
if
always work well together.
is Jalen good enough to be the second best player on a championship team? Maybe that's part of this.
That's
He
I
was
kind
really
of
good
think
in the
so.
finals. That's the part of it that's tough. Is that if Tatum just doesn't suck in the finals, they probably win. So I
I
don't.
mean, that's what I mean. He can, you know,
No,
Wardell. We just won it with my boy Wiggins as the number two. You
uh,
know, or
Wiggins is
Draymond.
better.
That's a
No,
good
I'm
point.
not even gonna say that right now.
Huh? Yeah, no. Hey, come on now. Come on now.
Hey man, you want to come be our third
Jalen
round
cool,
pick?
man.
You could do that.
They was
He
putting up
travels
numbers in the
so
regular
much,
season.
man.
Brown
They
has
was
no.
going.
He has no bag. I just don't like watching him play. I
Yeah,
hate watching. I ain't gonna lie. I hate watching Bam Adebayo play too. He actually had a good game
he was
tonight.
hooping today, but
Yeah,
he
no,
could
he
not
was
put the
hooping.
ball in the basket to save. That's the
Yeah,
whole
no,
fourth quarter was like get some
He was
contact, throw it
hilarious.
up. A better play, not even a better player. A night where he's on those are and ones. It couldn't get in the basket. Took,
yeah.
but nah, it was Jalen. How much shots did Bam take? Yeah, 7 for
He was
17.
yes,
But
17.
it's crazy. 22 points, 17 rebounds,
22.
9 assists.
Another
Only
20 point.
Mm,
Last thing they
mm.
haven't lost when he scores 20 or some shit
oh
like that.
wow. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. Now sometimes it really is just somebody should show that to Draymond. It's probably too late for Draymond. Just sometimes you just got to be aggressive, even if it's not great. Like we get why you don't want to be aggressive. You're not necessarily great at this thing, but if you're aggressive, it opens everything up. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, no, but yeah, he kind of dominated. That was crazy. The 9 assists to 1 turnover is kind of crazy
Yeah, I know.
for a big man.
Yeah.
Um, this is a wild team, man. Just I feel like it's the only thing I can go to is Miami team, but just it doesn't like at one point I think I saw Strus like come up limping on a play around the baseline in the fourth quarter. It was just like they don't have any like they're that's where they're at. That if they lost Max Strus, it might be the like, kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. That's how kind of thin this team is, and they just keep doing it. They're gonna be in the finals somehow if this keeps up. And it just I don't know. It's wild. Shout out to all of them because they're all hooping, but it's crazy, man.
Yeah, that Struz play was crazy because somebody hit. I don't know if it was him because two players collided, but somebody hit the ground hard. Like that was one of
Yeah.
those. Like I felt like somebody was coming up. It felt like it sounded worse than even the way
Mm-hmm.
he limped up off of it. I was like surprised it was just a little limp off. It seemed like I was gonna just look because I wasn't looking at that part of the screen. But when I looked
Mm-hmm.
over after the play, where the sound came from, I was like, oh damn, what is going on over there? Somebody.
Yeah, they seem.
They are.
That
The
just the,
Heat.
Go ahead.
go ahead.
The Heat are one Cody Zeller away from literally having to play. Damn near has. I don't know who else they
Yeah,
got.
I
They got
know.
somebody named Yurt7. I don't know who the hell that
Oh
is.
yeah, he stopped playing.
Yurt7
Jovic is too young. Highsmith's the one. I think Highsmith's the only one of those four guys that has actually got minutes
that could
this
actually play.
season. Yeah, he or got minutes these playoffs. He's actually played. I think before they started putting Zeller in, he got those minutes a little bit.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of the right guy. Is he big? No, he's only 6'5". He did play in these playoffs a little bit though, I'm pretty sure.
He's only 6'5".
Yeah, Highsmith, yeah.
Oh, Heisman.
No, yeah, my bad. My bad. But yeah, no, it's be interesting. Anybody is there any hope that the Celtics? I don't know. Somebody did say the Celtics play better in the playoffs. They've been better on the road than at home. So you never know. There's also just Miami just
No, I
has
mean,
to win one of these. I feel like that's the part. Miami going into 2 games at home, knowing they just need to win one. I can't see them not winning one at this
Spo not
point.
losing this.
That's the thing. It's
Well,
just
Spo
wild.
and
That's what
Jimmy.
at this
Yeah.
point. That was the thing. I think we were talking about this a little bit. It's crazy how much this fourth quarter did feel like kind of high school basketball. Like just they're playing zones and they're taking charges. It's like right all the time. Like Jimmy takes the charge and they say they're like leading the league in charges this playoffs. And it's just they're really. I think also the zone percentage they use is the highest in the playoffs. Might be the highest used in the playoffs of all time. Like since we've been tracking it, just how much they've used the zone. in this playoffs, which is like, yeah, we're not talented enough, but we have a really good player in Jimmy Butler, and we have a really great defender and like a good focal piece on offense. And Bam Adebayo, and everybody else can just kind of do shit. Nobody's really great at anything, or like the ones that can be are Kyle Lowry and Kevin
Yeah.
Love, and you just kind of like
Hmm.
expect it once every series. Hopefully, is what maybe Kyle Lowry 2 or 3 times every series, but they're just kind of rolling out there. We're just gonna junk it up. We're gonna play zone. We're gonna fuck your shit up, and we're just gonna. That's the funny part with them. They couldn't hit a three to fucking save their lives this year. Now they can.
Yeah.
Yes, it's kind of crazy, but it's all happening, man. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're getting one of these in Miami at least. It'd be hilarious if they just get swept. Because once you go down 3-0, it gets ugly. That's the scary part for either of these series, which means the whistle's probably going to be pretty strong in the Lakers and Boston's favor in the game threes. But it's just, you can't let either of these go 3-0, man.
Jason or Jalen, goofy ass, will put up 40 in a game 4 down 3-0 for no reason, just to win one game.
It's a very Jason
I
Tatum
think
thing.
Jimmy get this, man. I think Jimmy. I think Jimmy. I don't know if the refs give Jimmy enough. The refs got to go hand because I think Jimmy go psychologically. I think he won it just right there in that fourth quarter. I don't know walking off, but it just felt like damn.
Oh, did y'all see the what's the
This feels
face?
like a quick one.
Did y'all see the
The post
walk off?
game. Uh,
No, so the walk off is two parts of the walk off. ESPN had a part of it, TNT had a part of it. It
uh,
starts with him. I almost need to pull it up to make sure I say it right. But it starts with him pretty much saying like they can't be serious. So like pretty much saying that couldn't have been the answer to how to stop. That could have been the answer to the Jimmy
yeah,
Butler problem. And then he just said, "There's no way." Like he go the whole, how LeBron they like show LeBron
yeah.
walking the whole way. Like they just keep showing Jimmy the whole way into the
In
like.
the
There's
tunnel.
no
Yeah,
way. There's no way. There's no way.
yeah.
There's no way that dude was the answer to the Jimmy Butler problem. Just yelling that as like he's walking out the
Oh shit.
arena after his interview. That shit was hilarious. You got to watch the video. I don't do it
Yeah.
justice, but
It's- Oh man, nah, I feel like he got that, man. I don't know, Tatum Brown, like during the headlights, man, when it matters. And it's crazy because Tatum. That's like I got credit to Tatum too. It's like I feel like we was kind of laughing at the rebounding thing. The way he's chasing his misses, especially in the fourth quarter. But like yeah, no, he's like the effort. I just respect. Like that's why I kind of just have both the respect for Jason and Jalen, and just think they're interested next to each other, wondering how much they really don't, seeing how much they don't compliment each other in the biggest moments, I guess. But Jason, like, yeah, I think he showed up, like, he had, what, 25, 17, something like that. I heard, like, I feel like he had
Jason had 30 and 14.
30 and 14. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I feel like he like, just doing, just going out there and trying to make an impact and effort, even though I think, yeah, falling short and coming up short, especially in the biggest moments when the star player, especially the number one guy, needs to come through and to his own the way it looks. Just yeah, bad. But it's the part I guess on the other side, give him a little credit and just like he played all the way this game. I feel like he gave every like decent probably decent first half or got it going. And then third quarter, he had I think 14 or 15 in the third quarter, which was felt it made the zero field goals in the fourth quarter feel even worse. Was because he did play well even in the second half up until the
Mm-hmm.
fourth quarter started, and like seemed like he was going to like hold off the Miami run, like do enough to hold off the Miami runs that were going to keep coming, and that Miami was never going to let him push the game away. But then fourth quarter came and he was nowhere to be found scoring, and then yeah, I felt like the game was Celtics were just when really it's really crazy to see when it feels like a leader is not stepping up into the role the way the team is used to. I guess how the team responds.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes from Game 3. I think it's well said. Any other thoughts about this series or about tonight's game before we move on to everybody's favorite topic, the Los Angeles Lakers?
Missoula is only 34, which is crazy, which is cool. I guess to have a coach that's 34. But
Yeah.
he was a little testy in an interview. They asked him, you think? I think they literally said like they're sending different looks at Tatum. Do you think you guys should be sending different looks at Jimmy, like
Mm-hmm.
letting him go 1-on-1? And then he kind of responded. I feel like I get it. It sounded like, but I feel like it didn't not necessarily like
Mm-hmm.
contentious in a way of like saying like, well, I think it's not about that. I think it's like kind of like it's about our guys need to make shots. We need to close. When Jimmy misses shots, we need to get the rebound. Like when there's
Mm-hmm.
just possessions, we need to close. We made it about needing to close possessions and made it about needing to close possessions. So I felt like I don't know. It felt like it was weird to see him respond so like overtly like
Mm-hmm.
dismissing it when I feel like the idea of just like even if you're not gonna do that or
Yeah.
like I don't think there's no reason to dismiss it so harshly to say like well yeah like we like what we're doing we'll consider anything for the next game we're trying to get a win kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
like it's like we're gonna watch the film like probably that kind of thing instead of
Yeah.
like I
He's
guess but
been
yeah in the
getting
moment I guess
he's
yeah
been getting killed, and it feels like a little bit of an overreaction to what's actually happening on the court. A little bit that might be a part
yeah
of it, like kind of the no timeouts thing. I feel like a lot of people are just like, "Yo, like timeouts aren't like this end all be all." Like, I feel like they just keep taking. They
yeah
do this again. Everybody wants to make basketball binary and simple.
yeah
Like Missoula third quarter doesn't call any timeouts during the third quarter run that they're having. And Spo calls a timeout like a minute and a half into the fourth quarter when Miami or when Boston goes on like the 7-0 run to start it. Like type thing, just like
hmm
good coach, bad coach. Like that's obvious. It's right in front of us. We're just, it's, if you look close enough, man, like a lot of the stuff, like again, everybody was killing like Brogdon's plus minus in this year or last year against the Celtics. Like, why is he not getting the shot? Why are we going small? Why is, what's the white boy's name? Peyton Pritchard. Why is
oh
Peyton Pritchard getting
yeah
minutes and not giving Grant Williams a chance? And it's like gave him a chance, man, and now everybody probably killing him about not like to Jordan's point. I think he got him out pretty quick. It's wild he got him out pretty quick, and Jimmy still got 5 shots up on him and made 4 of them in the quarter. But
yeah
I feel like he got him out. Once the Jimmy start got going, he got him out there. But I feel like part of that reaction is like he's just it's been like the Twitter shit, but also like in the media and the shows and the podcasts, like they've been kind of coming
yeah
for him, and it's like I think just because again Boston media is strong, like that narrative that because I don't think he's been necessarily like outstanding as a first year coach, but I do first year coach. I think he's had a fairly decent first year coach season by
yeah
like whatever standard you want to hold him to. But I think that's probably where it's coming from. Is he's probably it feels similar to how people. And not saying he's this level of coach. It feels similar to how people talk or used to talk about Ty Lue in the in between kind of
mhm.
thing. Like before, I think really this whole time post LeBron with this Clippers team. Sometimes when they're trying to like kill him, it's like I don't know. Sometimes it feels like a lot for interesting reasons. But yeah, no, definitely an interesting response. But I guess it's been a
No, I
weird.
get, yeah, I get where you're coming
Yeah.
from. No, I would say too, like that's the job he has. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they went to the championship last year. Like that's
Yeah.
just such, and the way he comes into the job even is like that's, and yeah, imagine with Boston media. I imagine it's just imagine where he's the position he's in is a lot. Like I would imagine it's one of the most. That's a principal way to start a coaching career, to start a
Mm-hmm.
head coaching career, especially for someone like young. Which is admirable for me because I think that's cool that
Yeah. No, I
he,
think they're starting
I
there.
think yeah.
It'd be
Trying to get back
interesting.
to the player coach days. You feel me? You just need someone special enough to do it. So I don't know if he can get on the court. They say he can do a back